potential is an entrepreneurial mindset. I like to say it's permission granted. No one is successful overnight.
Keep on keeping on.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are at in the world today. Welcome to day 15 of 31 days to PADITU. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new, congratulations. You've entered a world of potentiality and how to go about putting a dent in the universe. I've been getting a lot of questions around how do I advance an idea? How do I get my idea to the market? How do I take my business to the next level? How do I put a dent in the universe? And so what I want to talk to you about this morning, briefly, is the entrepreneurial mindset. We had Gary Schoeniger on the show a few days back, and he specializes and hones in on the entrepreneurial mindset. He's going to be back on the show towards the end of our 31 days to do a wrap-up with us. It's going to be wonderful. But I wanted to give you my perspective on the entrepreneurial mindset. This does not mean you need to start a business. I want to be clear. An entrepreneurial mindset does not mean you have to start a business. What it means is you can be a more valuable human being. Having an entrepreneurial mindset, working within your business or working with your employer, creating your own services, consulting firm, supporting your community within different volunteering you may do within your community. Whatever you do when you have an entrepreneurial mindset will help you go farther and help you become more valuable to your community, to your employer, to your company. Let's move to the vision board here, Amy. So an entrepreneurial mindset, I think what's critical about this is that, for me, one of the key things is taking action. And how I like to say it, and it's in the video at the beginning, is I don't ask for permission. Don't ask permission, okay? This is a first key thing related to our mindset and permission. Sorry, I misspelled that. Spelling errors happen. What that means is taking action no matter what. Don't ask permission. I'm going to get this right here. Don't ask permission. This means you're taking action. Take action. And when you see an opportunity, when you see something that has potential and you think it can be successful, or you think it'll work within your work environment, or you think it'll work within your community or family, don't ask permission. Start doing it. Actions speak louder than words. That's what this is saying. So many people I know feel like they have to ask for permission. I'm telling you right now, you don't have to ask permission. Ask for forgiveness if necessary. So if you run into a situation where somebody gets upset because you took action, you can always ask for forgiveness and then keep going. That's what I want to say about that. So don't ask permission, take action, and then if necessary, ask for forgiveness if you find yourself in a situation where somebody gets upset because of your action. The other thing that's critical about entrepreneurs and what makes them more successful and more valuable than other people is they believe in themselves. Believe in self. This is critical. They don't need anybody else to tell them that they can do it. In fact, when I have people tell me that the idea is awful, that the idea will never work, I know that I'm on the right track, because over time in history, I've learned that when people don't understand what I'm going forward with or understand, I'm too far ahead for them. And so it's a good test for me. If people don't think it's a good idea, I know I'm onto something. I believe in myself. I'm not exposed. I'm not affected by their input. I had a mentor and good friend, Jim East. I think he's living in Florida now, sometimes in DC. And he used to tell me, no kudzu grows on you. Kudzu is that vine. That's what I'm talking about. I believe in myself. Other people's influence doesn't influence me. I have like an invisible shell around me, and my own belief in myself that I can achieve and do anything is something that's very strong within me. That's an entrepreneurial mindset. You want to believe in yourself that you can do anything and then go do it. Actions speak louder than words in the first part. Yeah, so you got to believe in yourself. Sometimes you have to be willing to go through shit, right? I call it sausage making. You have to be willing to go through very difficult times. So you have to have strong intestinal fortitude. That's in your stomach, right? Intestinal fortitude, strength, strong intestinal fortitude. Let's draw some intestines because I think that'd be fun. All right, we got some intestines growing there. What this means is you have strength within inside yourself that can continue to go through difficult and challenging situations over and over and over again and get stronger as you go through this process. Intestinal fortitude is something that some people have stronger than others. I believe and I've seen it's a muscle that if you exercise it over and over again, it will get stronger. So having strong internal strength, a fire in your furnace that keeps you going, you got to keep that lit and on fire when other people are not on fire or aren't lit or aren't excited about what's going on. You, as the person with the entrepreneurial mindset, can help lead those people through any challenge, to bridge and overcome any challenge through your own determination and will. That's leadership. The other thing, and we've talked about this before, that resonates around an entrepreneurial mindset, and this is important, is that you learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. There are so many situations you're going to put yourself in as you stretch yourself with an entrepreneurial mindset that are going to make you uncomfortable. I've gotten so good at being comfortable being uncomfortable that when I'm not uncomfortable, I'm uncomfortable. So if things are too smooth, things are too nice, and things are going too well, I wonder what's going on, what's happening, and there's no dynamics. It shows me I may be getting stagnant, actually. And what I've learned is when those times when I'm feeling myself slowing down or things are going really smooth and well, I'm wondering if I've gotten complacent or if I'm getting too comfortable in my spot. And so I start looking for those opportunities to start stretching myself in new directions and putting myself back in an uncomfortable situation that then helps me grow, get stronger, and move forward. Again, getting comfortable, being uncomfortable is a key attribute of an entrepreneurial mindset. We've heard it before from a number of entrepreneurs that have been on the show, and especially those that are successful branching out, starting additional businesses, doing more things. They believe in their hearts anything is possible. Anything is possible. Now, this is not some pie in the sky situation. This is not where I'm just floating around thinking, oh yeah, anything's possible and it's going to come to me very easily with no challenge and no effort. That's not the case. Anything is possible when you believe strong enough with all your heart and are willing to work hard enough to make the impossible possible. That's the trick. Are you willing to work hard enough to make the impossible impossible? Because it can happen. So anything is possible. And what you want to do is if you're willing to work hard enough, and believe strong enough. This is the key. It's not easy, everyone. This is not easy because as it gets hard, whatever you're doing, and as it gets more difficult, and as we've discussed, it's like a video game. Every step of life, every time you reach a new level, it just got harder. So it doesn't get easier. Life is not supposed to be easy, but you have to, if you want to make anything possible in your life, you have to be willing to work hard enough and believe strong enough. Now, entrepreneurs are a unique breed in that they truly believe in giving back. So what I found is entrepreneurs that are growing their wealth, building their business, or doing something to social enterprise or some project in their community to help strengthen and grow their community. These folks, what they do is they go around and they inspire people and they give back. They give back. And it makes a huge difference. I call this giving it away to get it back. Give it away to get it back. Some people call it paying forward. But entrepreneurs, really, really strong entrepreneurs, are ones who are very believing in that they're making a difference. They're putting a dent in the universe. They're PADITUing. And part of their reason for growing their business, for doing whatever it is they do, is to give back. So they're giving it away to get it back. This is powerful stuff, because the more you give away, the more you get back. The more you contribute, the more value you create, the more value you get back. It's a universal truth. And so a lot of people feel like they have to hoard and protect what they know, that there's a scarcity mentality to their mindset. In reality, an abundance mentality will get you farther, and that when you give away, you get back. And there's examples after examples of this. It's something you, again, have to practice, and it's a muscle that you have to exercise to get stronger. But there's an Aboriginal group, Aborigines in Australia, and they run this race. The race can take up to a month. They're running races around, through the outback. And the winner, when they come back and win, not only are they celebrated, but they sit down with all the other runners and they share with them how they won the race, how they did it. That is giving it away to get it back in action. And finally, as it relates to an entrepreneurial mindset, and this is important, it's the dreamers, the people who think big, who make a huge difference in our world. And so you want to be thinking big, and you want to be dreaming about what it is you want to create. So thinking big and dreaming are consistent behaviors of entrepreneurs. They're willing to take time and do nothing, sit there and let their minds wander. Let them think up big things, connect dots that they wouldn't have otherwise. So thinking big and dreaming and doing nothing. Take a walk in the woods. Sit in a location just outside, be in the outdoors. Find time to do nothing, dream, and think big. Very entrepreneurial. Key way to come up with new ideas and let them flow. Remember not to judge those ideas and let them flow to you, because that's where the gold is. When those ideas that are the most outrageous, that's where gold is. And then re-engineer it backwards. What's the first step we need to take to be able to move forward? And how do we do that? And how do I build a team to surround that? I guess there is one last one. I'll put this out. That is, nothing of greatness happens without a team. Collecting people forever. You want to be identifying, and when you meet people of value, or people who are interesting, or people who could advise you, or people who you find that could be excellent at finance, or they're great at sales, or they're a good coach, or they're a great mentor, or they've got some specialty that you really are looking for, collect those people. Collect them. Keep track of them. Amy Campbell, working right now with me as producer of 31 Days to PADITU, has been in my life, and we've been working together and collaborating now for over 10 years, maybe 15. We haven't really connected for quite some time. And then this idea for 31 Days to PADITU came up. I shared it with Amy. Can you help me with this? She says, yes. That's how you collect a team. That's how you keep people engaged and a part of your life. And then have them help you with whatever it is you're doing, and enroll them into that vision. So building a team and collecting people forever is something that I can't emphasize enough. Those are some of the ideas I want to share with you around how to have an entrepreneurial mindset and how to create more value in your life for whatever you do. Again, you don't have to start a business to have an entrepreneurial mindset, innovation mindset, whatever you want to call it, creativity mindset. It's allowing you to be more resilient, more creative, more adaptive, and better at taking action and making things happen. Thank you. I hope that was helpful. We have some other Viz tools we're going to be sharing here soon. There are our websites in the work, and once we launch that, I'll let you know. You can download some self-guided visual thinking tools. We call them Viz tools that you can use to do some of this work, and we'll be sharing those here shortly. Also, I think that we're for sure broadcasting on YouTube now, soon LinkedIn, so you want to pay attention to that. Shout out to Kumar and Norman, who are tuning in today. Good to see you here. Amy, do we have any questions, or where are we at right now?
We do. We have a few things we had come in that didn't get addressed. We just when we ran out of time during the week. Do you mind if I put those up and you could address those?
Whatever you'd like.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Question. If I have been at my dream building for more than 5 years and I haven't scaled my business yet, should I give up? Did I miss out on scaling my business? If I haven't, what steps do I take to scale? Any resources are helpful. Thank you. Well, that's a good question. Let me take a step back. Knowing when to quit and do something else is important. So I always say never, ever, ever give up. Never, ever give up. With the caveat, if I keep banging my head against the wall over and over and over again, and I'm prone to this, thick skulls, entrepreneurs have thick skulls. It's a fact. You can hear it. What that means is I've got to change my direction. And so if after 5 years, you have not achieved what you imagined in your brain and what you were trying to work towards and weren't making those milestones as you went and were going forward, then you have to evaluate the milestones. So you have to be creating clear and concise milestones you want to achieve. And then if you're not achieving those, and let's say you're evaluating them every month to 3 months, for sure, every 3 months, I might go into a monthly review of goals and targets. Then you have to start understanding how you have to adjust and modify your business or your endeavor to make it more successful, to make it work. At some point, you may need to change direction. You may need to go a completely different way. That's called a pivot. That's different than evolving and modifying your business model as you go based upon what you're learning and adapting as you go. A pivot is completely, if you're going this way and all of a sudden you're going this way. So that's a pivot, completely different direction. What I would be doing with your business right now, if it's not achieving the goals that you've set for yourself and the dreams you put out into the universe, I would be looking at what you can do to leverage your greatest asset, your most valuable component of your business, and then try reworking that. Go in a different direction. Where do you have the customer? Where do you have the greatest customer base? Where are your customers excited? Where are you getting the most traction? 5 years is a long time. I know that some corporations and some businesses that put tons of money into R&D, and the most successful ones have a 7-year window. So if it's a technology-based innovation, you could be looking at a 7-year window before an adoption. What I would say is this: right now, it appears to me where 10 to 15 years of advancement has happened in a month. So with COVID-19, it appears to me 10 years of kind of technology evolution or people's adoption of technology has moved forward in a month. So 10 years in a month, 10 to 15 years, maybe more. So right now is a time that we don't know much. Like, we don't know what's really happening. I love it when these people say, I'm 30 years in the finance industry. I've got a total great sense of what's happening right now. No one has an idea. Anybody who claims there's an expert, they don't know what they're talking about, because no one's an expert right now. And you're going to want to look for what are the greatest opportunities for you to move in a direction that helps grow your revenue. Particularly if you've been in this 5 years, you have some sense of your business and you have some sense of customers. Have you introduced referral programs? What are you doing online? Have you created a network, distribution channels that allow you to maximize partners who are selling for your products for you or your services? There's so many ways to go. I think what's important, though, and what people have a hard time understanding, and this is true because we get attached. I'm always training business builders to not be too attached to their business. Don't have your identity wrapped up in your business. If your identity is wrapped up in your business, it becomes very hard to separate your own emotional decisions that are yours and your business. And you start making decisions that are not the best because they're driven by your own self-interest, not what's best for growing the business. Can't emphasize this enough. So understanding when you've reached a point where you've gone as far as you can and taken it to a complete conclusion, or you identify a new direction to go, is critical. But I can't advise you fully right now because I don't have enough information. Maybe what we can do is try to get you on the show and find out more about what you're doing, because this is a really important question for people. Too many businesses stick at the same business too long when it's not working, when it's floundering, and they never are getting the traction necessary to move to the next level. This doesn't mean you have to scale a multi-billion-dollar business. You can scale something that creates a very nice lifestyle as well. But I do find that many people continue to move forward, investing money and time into something that clearly, at least from my perspective, my experience, is not going to work unless there's some dramatic shift. So understanding that and being able to listen to that and detaching yourself from your business or whatever the endeavor is to be able to make the best decision, which could be walking away. Particularly if you're getting yourself further and further in a hole, and that hole is going to be harder and harder to dig out of, it's better to cut your losses and then move into something else. So I'm not saying, again, I never, ever, ever give up, with the caveat, if it's not working, you're banging your head against the wall, find another route to go, because it's not going to get easier. And entrepreneurs can be thick-skulled and difficult to get them off of their blinders and goal that they have in front of them. Open up your perspective, see more of what's out there, and find out how to plug that in to help you go faster. I hope that was helpful. That was a really good question and a difficult one as well. Another question. At what point can I quit my job and just do my business full time? Is there a magic number or dollar figure? I see that's an American question. What I would say is this, that when I start a business, I have a goal of how much money I want to generate and how much money I want the business to generate, and then how much money I have to spend. So it's kind of a cash flow, and I have different people on who are playing different roles. I have to figure out what they need for money and then what I need for money. So what I would do is set your own personal goal of, it's not so much a number at the totality of the business. It's like, are you being taken care of enough? Are you making enough money so that you can live and take care of your needs and focus on the business? That's what, and then you see that there's potential to grow. And so the revenue continually is growing, and you have enough revenue to pay other people to do the work as well. When you find that you're getting enough traction and you can pay yourself enough money to not have to worry about whether you eat or you have money to go to travel or, to a meeting, or pay for subscriptions for technology that are necessary to be able to broadcast or do whatever you need to do, then you have some sense that that's a good time to consider quitting your job. Your job, remember, is money. So that's funding. That's helping fund your business, and that's revenue to your business, because you're putting some of that revenue, some of the money you make from your job into your business. At some point when the business doesn't require that money from your job and you're making enough money where it's close, at least something near what you were making with your job, and you're able to pay some other people to work on your business to help you grow your business, that's your clue that, okay, we're getting more demand, business is starting to grow, and I'm starting to make more money, I'm paying more people. That's the time I'd start considering quitting your job. If you're married, if you have a partner, you want to make sure your partner is completely aligned with your strategy from the beginning. So don't wait until you're along this process and you're like, I'm thinking of quitting my job now. It could cause some real deep tension and stress. You've got to get your significant other, your partner, aligned with what you're doing and where you're going, so that they're supportive, because there's nothing worse than having someone behind your back or someone at your home where you're at complaining constantly or talking to you in negative ways that are not productive. And I've rarely seen any business builder or entrepreneur successful at managing a negative home environment because the people at home are against them doing what they're doing. It either leads to separation, divorce, or a complete complacency where the person folds and follows what's going on at home. In that case, you can all imagine it's a fairly miserable situation. So it's two parts, right? Make sure your significant other, your partner, is aligned with what you are doing, so they're there from the beginning, and then be setting milestones. I like to set monthly, and then again, 1 week, 1 month, 6 month time frames. In those are milestones. I've went over the action plan before. I don't remember what episode, but you want to be working 1 week, 1 month, 6 month time frames, and then having clear milestones that you're setting. And if you're not meeting those milestones, you have to look at different ways that you're not hitting those milestones. And then if you can't overcome hitting those milestones, particularly 5 years, you're going to be able to make some pretty good projections now because you've got history as you go forward. I see a question here that's come through the stream. I thought I saw one, Amy, which was putting an idea on the thought. Okay, so I got a question from Kumar Juharmalani. Going out and dreaming, I've been doing that, but putting down the idea is the tough part. Okay, Kumar. A lot of people get stuck in dreaming. This is a reality, and I know a lot of people, they're dreamers, right? Dreamers and spinners, I call them. And these are people who just spin in one spot, they dream, and they're really good at dreaming. They're very comfortable dreaming, but taking that dream and turning it into reality, that's the trick, right? So a lot of people have strengths, different strengths. Strengths of dreaming is a really powerful strength, and it can be a superpower because some people can dream some really good stuff. Think about Leonardo da Vinci dreaming up helicopters 500 years ago, right? 600 years ago. We need more Leonardo da Vinci's today, by the way. And so what I would recommend, I'm going to go over to my vision board for this, Kumar. Well, here's what I would do. Let's do this. Here's my dream. Mind map it, please. Here's my dream. Write down your dream. And then what I do is I articulate it. So the dream I have is impacting 1 billion people. This is my dream. Impacting 1 billion people. Going remote. So I don't travel anymore, Kumar. No more travel. Unless I want to visit you, maybe. Going remote, productization. I'm going to productize things that I've had before in the physical world. I'm now going to turn them into a remote virtual world. And I'm going to build my team. I got to build a team. This is my dream. The dream is impacting 1 billion people. I'm going to do it all remote. I'm going to productize. I got to build a team. This is my dream. But the dream is really impacting 1 billion people. That's the key right there. Okay, that's a big dream. How the heck am I going to do that? I got to take action. I like working in 1 week, 1 month, 6 month time frames. So 1 week, 1 month, 6 months. And what I would do is start understanding, what do I need to do? I need to, within a week, prep for a show. I got to start productizing. I got to identify team members. Who's on my team? Amy, Dahlia, Hoy. I got a team. Great. Now I got to start taking action here. I got to start promoting. I got to start. Well, I got to productize. You get the idea. Lots to do here. See that? That's what you do. You dream it. Write down your dream. There it is. You know, I do it in a mind map. Works with brain's natural ability to process information. Also works with your brain's natural ability to dream and imagine and come up with new ideas. I do it large scale. I do it small scale. Then I got to take that dream and I got to imagine and take that dream and say, okay, how do I make it real? That's the difference. Action. And so coming up with some kind of action plan around it. Now, that's step 2. And those are hard steps. The first step's easy. It's my dream. Maybe it's uncomfortable because my dream is so big for some people. That's okay. And then the action plan. But the thing here is you could draw up all that and then still not do anything. And I've seen that so many times. And so what I would do to make sure that I'm capable of moving this forward is I would start developing affirmations. Affirmations, like my mother was talking about last Sunday. She'll be back on this coming Sunday, Insights with Noreen's mom. I'm Sean's mom. Noreen's her name. She has great techniques for doing this. So I'm going to recommend Sunday. You want to tune in for her because we're going to be talking about money affirmations, money making, and sales and development. She's very good at this, and it's all action oriented. So affirmations that reinforce I can and will take my dream and manifest it. Manifest this dream, and even better than I imagined. Okay, there you go. There's an affirmation. I can and will take my dream and manifest this dream, and even better than I imagined. Oh, we need an E there. Than I imagined. Your writing does not have to be perfect. Clearly, you can see from mine, it's not. But paper is easier for me to write on than a digital screen, I've learned. But I'm still doing it. I'm stretching myself, and I think everybody needs to be stretching themselves like this. But that affirmation helps you move it forward. You can't ignore it. Post it in different locations. So again, when you're dreaming up things, dream it, write it down, visualize it, mind map it. I recommend. Second step, come up with an action plan that helps take that dream, the steps you need to take to move that dreams forward. Again, use your dreaming state. What action steps do I need to take? Don't judge it. The key here is to suspend judgment. This is hard. We are all very prone, myself included, to judging rapidly. We judge whatever it is that comes at us. In a state of suspended judgment, we let things flow into us and through us, and then that allows us to better understand and come up with ideas and connect dots and be more innovative. So suspending judgment is a practice I would recommend. It helps you put together your action plan here too. And remember, the next step in the process to really move it forward, because again, it could just sit there collecting dust on a shelf or it's collecting dust on a wall. You want to have an affirmation. You want to have something that's driving you to move forward and keep going. These are incredibly important pieces. I appreciate that question, Kumar. Amy, how you doing? What do you got? More questions. We got written ones today, huh? Okay, great. I like this. My friend said I am not an entrepreneur. Oh, I may not be a friend just because I'm self-employed. That is confusing. Are there other types of business owners, or are we all entrepreneurs? That's a really good question. So I believe that there are very few pure entrepreneurs out there. Like you run into them every once in a while. I'd be one. You'd run into me and you're like, that's an entrepreneur. My goodness. Norman Schwartz will tell you, right? He works with a lot of entrepreneurs. There's certain characteristics that entrepreneurs display, and I've shared those with you. A belief, anything is possible, a strong belief in self. I can do anything. These are beliefs that are strong within entrepreneurs. You can be, and I myself was employed by employers. I have clients. I get employed by clients for work that I do, helping with strategies and culture development and helping them overcome their biggest challenges. I get paid for that. But I'm still an entrepreneur. So you can be an entrepreneur and be an employee. And I explained that before, particularly with an entrepreneurial mindset. This is what's important. You don't have to start a business to think, behave, and act like an entrepreneur. And you will become more valuable as a human. That means more valuable to your family, more valuable to your community, more valuable to your employers, more money, more opportunities when you have an entrepreneurial mindset. So I think, again, this goes back to believing in yourself. There are more people who are going to tell you what you're not. Remember, they're looking through a lens. Their lens is of their own perspective. It's a reflection back on themselves. And so when they see you wanting to be an entrepreneur, when they see you saying you're an entrepreneur, they're flipping that around, talking to themselves and saying, but I'm not an entrepreneur and I don't have that. And why do they have that? And so they start internalizing it themselves. And you can see this happen in people a lot where they're, for whatever reason, for insecurities is what it is, not feeling good enough or feeling like they want to be an entrepreneur, but are unsure about how to do it. My recommendation and what I say about this, surround yourself with eagles. Eagles are those people who challenge you to be the best you can be. They're not complacent with you just sitting there doing what you're doing. They want you to do more. They're there to constructive criticism to help you understand how to improve whatever it is you're doing, and encourage you and are rallying behind you and say, you know what, you are an entrepreneur. Why are you working at this job? Maybe you should take that idea and go forward. Surround yourself with those people, and then get rid of and remove anybody who's a negative. I call them toxics. Toxic people are the worst situation you can be in. They influence your life in ways that you don't know. It's subtle, and it can like undermine your ability and your emotions and your mental state. I've experienced it where my do anything mindset can be slightly chipped away at if I'm surrounded by people who are constantly negative, complaining, not happy, not good enough. This is death. Remove the toxic people from your life. This could be family members. This could be friends. Maybe they're not friends that you think they are because they're stuck in how they're stuck, and you can't change people. So if you think, oh, well, maybe I can get my friend, I'll change my friend. You can't change people. People are who they are. Their character's set. The only thing that changes people, and we talked about this with Seema Patel yesterday, are experiences. Life, near-death experiences, life-altering experiences are opportunities, and people do change. Or you design experiences that can change you. 31 Days to PADITU is designed by me and Amy and Dahlia to transform us into something we don't know what's going to become after the 31 days. But we designed this as a way to change ourselves, knowing the world has changed and that we want to be part of that future going forward. Not only part of it, we want to thrive and excel in that future going forward. And so, I think that, can you bring that question back up, Amy? I lost track of my mind. Okay. Yep, I stand with what I say. So you can be an entrepreneur and you can be working a job. It's totally possible. Remember, your job can be what is making the money, the funding to fund your business so you're going forward. Don't let anybody tell you what you are or not. That's all I'm going to say about it. Don't let anybody, don't buy into it. Don't hear it. Don't listen to it. Be strong. Believe in yourself. This is entrepreneurial way of life. This is how you become a more valuable human. It's not easy. I'm not saying it is. It takes practice. It's taken me 53 years to get to this point right now where I can say these things with even greater conviction. I was just watching a video from 2011. Guess what? Saying the same exact thing, but not the same. More conviction now because hundreds of thousands of people around the world, business builders, and lives have been transformed through what I'm talking to you about on this screen right now. Remove the toxics from your life. Your friends may not be your friends. I'm sorry to say that. 2, then your family. Could be family. Remove yourself from that family environment. If you're in a negative environment, get out of it as quick as possible. We talked about this with my mother on Insights with Sean's mom. What we talked about was I was very good in environments that were not healthy for me to get myself ejected out. I actually learned how to do that from a very young age. And I've noticed that it's similar now, although more intentional and more focused. The second thing is surround yourself with eagles. Surround yourself with people you want to be like. Surround yourself with people who are going to inspire you to do more, people who are going to challenge you to do more, and believe that you can do it. That's who you surround yourself with. And that's a critical component that I think is hard because you may have friends that have been friends for a long time, but really, when you look at it deep in your heart and reflect upon it, you might realize, hey, those are really not my friends, and they're not going to help me get to where I want to go. And that life runs in cycles. Life runs in 7 to 10 year cycles. So every 7 to 10 years, it's a new cycle, and you start something new. And I think if you were looking back on your life, you would find that you're in 7 to 10 year cycles. I literally believe I've started a new cycle last month. I'm in another 7 to 10 year cycle that just has started right now. And that's exciting because as I've gotten older, I realize that cycle. I can pay attention to the cycle and I can start really building on it, knowing I'm looking out 7 to 10 years now in terms of my projections forward in whatever I'm doing. I hope that's helpful, and I hope that was a good, helped whoever asked that question. Oh, thank you. We got another question. Passive revenue looks like a great idea, but heavily focused on technology. I don't know where to start. Help! Passive revenue, okay. Well, there's lots of ways to make passive revenue. Let's be honest, and it could be technology. It could be developing some kind of new dance move that gets picked up on TikTok, and all of a sudden you got 50, 60, 100,000, 200,000, a million followers. Maybe it's you're making a product, some kind of special purse or bag that's good for kids, a diaper bag of some kind that's unique and high quality. That's also something you could be producing at home at night. So honestly, the idea of passive income is not limited to technology. It's whatever the market demands and whatever you have that you might be able to sell and turn into cash. I know right now a lot of people who are artisans, fashion people, are making masks and selling these beautiful design masks. That's passive income for those people as it relates to adjusting to the current realities. That's that's an example of passive income that I know a lot of artists right now are involved in. Even if it wasn't their focus, it's not even their focus, but they saw an opportunity and they're creative and they created passive income through masks. So it's not just the technology that it's not just technology that helps create passive income, although it's a great place to go create passive income. There are other options. So it can be a product. It can be something you sell to friends and neighbors. It can be something you sell to local stores. It can be something that you put online. There's literally no end to what's possible in terms of passive income, as long as people are willing to buy it and pay for it, and as long as you can price it so you're not losing money. So I'm going to say this. I've seen literally hundreds of businesses that are passive income. It's a hobby. It's a side gig that they're doing. And when you start looking at it in more detail, you realize that everything they're selling, they're losing money. Sometimes $5, $10, $15 per item, lost. You can't make it up. That means you need to be charging more. So you need to understand your pricing, your costs, and how you price that so that you're making money on each item you're selling. If you have a loss strategy, that's viable, but you better have a strategy of when you're going to turn that into profit, particularly if you're selling items like man-made that require you to buy materials, then manufacture and put that together, shoes, purses, whatever it may be, masks, that you're charging more than the cost for the material, more than the cost for your time, and then the cost to distribute it out. You'll find if you break that down, then the cost can be quite high, and therefore you have to charge more to be able to get that. So that's the one thing I would say. If you're going to do a side hustle, if you're going to do passive income, make sure that passive income is making you money. Uber drivers is another form of passive income that I see all over. I haven't been in Uber in quite some time, but wherever I go in the world and I'm on an Uber, it's a passive income thing for a lot of them. It's a part-time job. They have a job on another job, and now they're working Uber. Uber is a great example of a passive income that someone could make. But I would encourage you to understand the cost of your car, your insurance, the maintenance, and then the time, and then realize, are you really making much money when you're an Uber driver or not? I'm not sure. I've seen some examples where it's coming out to like $3 or less an hour. You're not making money then, because it's the cost of running your car to be an Uber driver is higher than the cost of what it takes. Plus, you have to pay taxes on that. So it's 35%, 40%, at least in the US. Then on top of that, so 30 to 40% is gone right from the start. So that means you're left with 60%, which means you might only end up with 10 to 12% as take home. So understanding the cost and how you make money is really critical on any type of side hustle or passive income. Again, hundreds of businesses globally are making a mistake, and it's costing them money to do that, where they think because they're getting cash flow, they're making money, when in reality, they're losing money every day. Don't be like that. I guess this is the written question day, which I like. What does fake it mean? Your guest is interesting. Is this the right thing to do? What do you recommend? Who said fake it? That was Carlos? Carlos said fake it? I think Carlos Moreno said fake it to make it. Okay. So let's be clear. What that means is, if you don't know what it is you're doing to the fullest extent, you can still start now and start doing it. In programming, I mean, we see it all the time. In programming, building websites, people don't necessarily know what they're doing. They're reading a book, but they're still selling the service, and they're getting a gig to build the website. That's faking it to make it. That means what you're doing is you're doing it. You're actually doing it. You're not talking about it. You're building the website. You're designing the website. You're programming the website. You're learning as you go. This is no different than an Accenture or an Accenture kind of model. They hire people who are young, out of college, and those people are the ones they stick on jobs because they're the lowest cost, but also the highest profit margin. And guess what? Those consultants are faking it to make it. They're getting paid to be trained on your dime or on the dime of that business that's doing it. There's no difference as an entrepreneur faking it to make it. I have another saying that I give, like when I in the past, when I've been doing starting up different businesses, I come out and when I show up in public, I'm on a hog, motorcycle. I'm on a big, shiny, beautiful Harley Davidson hog. Man, I'm looking good. I pull up. They see me, I'm sharp. I go back to my house and I get back on my little tricycle and I'm pedaling as fast as I can and going, how the heck am I going to make that work? That's real. That's faking it to make it. Don't ever show anybody that sausage making. Show them you're on a big, shiny hog. That's what they want to see. The sausage making happens in the background, back of your house, in the garage, wherever that is. Don't show anybody that sausage making because nobody wants to see that and nobody cares. Except they won't trust you in that moment because they'll be like, that's not a very solid business. While most businesses operate just like I've described. So faking it to make it means showing up, always looking good, understanding that you're not quite sure how you're going to pull it all together in the background, but that's okay because you know you can do anything and you're going to make it happen. You're just not sure at that point, but you are confident that you can make it happen. That's what faking it to make it is. And it's kind of, I know that some people may not feel comfortable with that, fake it to make it. Another way to look at it is do it afraid. So I say do it afraid. So I'm afraid, especially in the first couple episodes we're doing here of 31 Days to PADITU. I didn't know what this was going to be like. I'd never done this before. And so I did it afraid. I'm doing it afraid. I don't know what's going to happen each day. I don't know what Amy's going to do. There's no script here. We're just getting questions. We're trying to help people out. Do it afraid. And then what happens is all of a sudden you're not so afraid and you start realizing, oh, I can do this. And the more you do that, the more you put yourself out there, fake it to make it, do it afraid, the more you realize you can do it. And the less likely you are to be stopped from moving forward from doing anything you want to do. I hope that helps whoever asked that question. Thank you.
Well, I want to.
Are there any challenges with today with technology?
I think we're just about caught up with. I think we're just about caught up with our outbound questions or inbound questions that weren't answered in regular show.
Okay.
But our guest,
Can't get in?
no, it's a technical issue, so she's not gonna be able to join. So if you,
Where's she coming from?
Zambia.
Oh, and then we don't have True from yesterday.
No, she's gonna join us on the 22nd, I think.
Fabulous. Earth Day was in April, so 22nd, good day. Good luck, number.
All right.
Well, you know what I think, Amy?
What is?
We've had a really good show, and we've
It's been good.
Information. Let's call it a day. All right, everybody. Day 15 down. Thank you to everybody for showing up and being part of PADITU, 31 Days to PADITU. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, PADITU time, same PADITU place. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
You got to never, ever give up. Keeping up, keeping up. 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 Living what's for life.
Believe in yourself and you'll go far.